Hi everyone, my name is Sibasankar Sir with you in the StudyIQ platform. Welcome to StudyIQ platforms. In this session, we will discuss about the President's versus Supreme Court. I mean, what has of late development taken place in the what early time or of late. I would say what of late. Recent time, you might have heard that President has asked some questions, whether that is law or facts, by using Article 143 of Indian Constitutions, which mean that advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court, the advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court. So that is why this topic remains in news, right? And that is why we are also here. Now, why these questions from the President Murmuji towards the Supreme Court? Towards the what? Supreme Court. Why this? Now we have to go through the background. Now what are the questions put forwarded? What are the questions put forwarded? क्या एंड कैसा क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया कि that everybody got मतलब debate, discussion that has started all corner of the India. What are the questions? First, we will go through the question that put forwarded by President to Supreme Court, right? The questions. The questions. Now, why this? Now you would say, okay, so these are the questions. I will go through the question. Okay, I will go through the questions. Okay, what are the questions? Now come to the background. Now, why? Now, whether this is the first time that Supreme Court of, the President of India has asked the questions and read to the Supreme Court by using the 143. No, this is the 14th time. This is the what? 14th time that the President of India has used these articles. Since 1951, this has been going on, right? And this is the 14th time. Then why these questions? These questions, I will go through this question, right? This question I will go through. But what is the background? Now comes to the background. The background is that everybody awares that it was in April month. It was in what? April month. 8th of April, the Supreme Court, two benches of judges of the Supreme Court said that within 3 months, the President has to and the Governor has to assent the bill. Right. In the case what? In the case Tamil Nadu versus Center, that R.N. Ravi, the Governor of Tamil Nadu, withhold some bills, around 10 bills, and that was withhold for the assent of the President, some bills for the President, some bills has been withhold for the long period of time. And Tamil Nadu government is complaining that why these bills is been withhold. That is that means the people's voice is being suppressed. We don't have the value. The what governor is the what governor is like Sarve Sarba. So this is kind of. So that is why a two-judge bench decided that President and Governor has to assent the bill within the 3 months. Within the what? 3 months of timeline. Now, which fix the time limit. That means on the 8th of April, Supreme Court specifies the timeline, fix the timelines for the President to decide the bills referred by the Governor within 3 months. Now, this verdict of Supreme Court spread like a wildfire. The Vice President of India, Dhankarji, said by using what? Article 142, and this verdict came by using what? That complete justice, as Supreme Court says, complete justice 142. That spread like the wildfire. Different comments come from the different political party leaders. Vice President Dhankarji said that Article 142 of the Supreme Court is like a nuke weapon. It's like a what? Nuke weapon, and the Supreme Court is function as a super parliament. The Supreme Court is functioning like a super parliament. So these are the comments came from the Vice President of India, right? then now this question comes from the President of India. Then this question comes from the whether Supreme Court is having power to direct the President, whether law defines that 3 months. Now what is correct, right? What is correct? So that is why the first question is whether the constitution or the law mandates any time frame for the President assent to the state bill. Is there any provision in the constitutions? This question asked by whom? President to whom? Supreme Court. Why? Because of that verdict of 8th of April that specifies, that limits the time. The second question, now beside questionings if it is proper for the 2-judge bench to interpret the constitutional provision, because we know minimum 5 judges is required. Now 2-judge benches, they verdicted the 3 months will be given to the Supreme Court to decide the bill. Whether that is proper way, that is not proper way, because so this is also a question is been asked. She also questions whether the court can impose the timelines or procedure on the governors and the President exercising powers under the Article 200 and 201. This is for the governor, this is for the President. Whether governor and President, how they will act, whether that will be determined, right? That would be determined, that court will determine, or the final interpretation is what? Supreme Court. The final interpretation of the constitution is what? Supreme Court. Or Supreme Court has interpreted like that, right? This is again, if the President must consult, if the President must consult the Supreme Court under Article 143 when a bill reserved for the assent. This is also a question. Other questions, if the judicial review can occur before the bill become the law, and whether the Supreme Court can override the constitutional power of the governor or the President under Articles 42. This is also a debate. This is also a debate and a good point as well. Whether President asked whether the state law can be valid without the governor assent. That is again a question. Another question asked whether the governor must strictly follow the advice of the Council of Ministers if their discretion is subject to the judicial review despite the constitutional safeguard. So these are the questions, right? Now backgrounds we have discussed. Now see what happens. Whether the Supreme Court will constitute a 5-judge bench, whether the Supreme Court will constitute a 7, 9, whatever the, right? Or what road map ahead? What would be road map ahead? The road map could be the Supreme Court advisory jurisdictions balances the need for the constitutional guidance with respect to the separation of power, while the court opinion influence policy and legal interpretation. Legal interpretations. And what? Legal interpretations. Right. And what? Legal interpretations. While the court opinion influence policy and legal interpretations, they don't directly bind the president, the governor or legislature. This arrangement preserves executive's autonomy while providing a mechanics for the authoritative legal clarifications. Now road ahead means what? What will happen? Whether the Supreme Court's advisory jurisdiction will balance the need for the constitutional guidance with respect to the separation of power. That is again will be there. Well, the court's opinions influence the policy and legal interpretations that don't directly bind the president and governor. That is also. Or we will amend the constitution. Or we will amend the issues raised by, that is by the Murmuji under Article 43 with reference to the underscores the need of the clear constitutional and legislative framework governing the assent process of the state bill. The Supreme Court's advisory opinions will likely shape how the president and the governor approach their assent power and the time and what timeless of the decision. Or parliament will take or legislative action will take amending the constitution, or let's say parliament will amend itself and will then add a articles in the constitution. Yes, within 3 months president or the governor need to sign the bill, assent the bill. That is also way forward. You can also write like that, right? Otherwise there would be like this condition would be there. And whether this is also too much excessive exercise of judicial power, or this is the breach of judicial overreach, like judiciary is coming to the executive power, judiciary is coming to the policy formulation, judiciary is coming to the law formulation. What law will be formed, that will decide by the governor and the president. That does not mean the Supreme Court will decide what law, how the law will shape. So this is also right the topic. So this is how we have discussed the topic. Thank you everyone. Have a good day to all. Thank you.